How's it going, everybody? My name is Austin and welcome to the POWERSTROKE YouTube channel. If you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below, join the other 10,000 subscribers and stick around for some amazing diesel content, and among other things. We've got a couple gassers, a bunch of other stuff, and hopefully we'll expand to other diesel. And if you are returning POWERSTROKE Nation, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys every single video. And in this video, we're going to be going over everything you guys should think about when you buy a 7.3 POWERSTROKE, whether you are looking to buy or you already have. So I've had my 7.3 for about 4 years now, which it doesn't seem like it. I feel like I just got it like maybe a year or two ago. So this is pretty crazy that it is it's already been 4 years. So I've done a video similar to this, my honest opinion of the 7.3 POWERSTROKE, which almost has 100,000 views on it, which is pretty crazy. But I figured I'd do a more revised. I'm a little bit more versed in the 7.3. I've gotten dirty. No, that sounds weird. I've gotten under the hood of it. I've installed injectors, a turbo, and all sorts of stuff since then. So I figured I'm a little bit more knowledgeable now than I was back then. So now I can actually give an honest opinion of everything you need to look for when you're buying a 7.3. All right, so obviously the 7.3 POWERSTROKE has been around since the late 90s in the OBS body style, but we're gonna be talking about the 99 to 2003 Super Duty 7.3 POWERSTROKE. So now when you're gonna go look at this 7.3, you're gonna be very excited just like I was. You're gonna hear all the good diesel noises. You're gonna hear the whistle, you're gonna hear the grumble of the V8 POWERSTROKE, and you're gonna be super excited. You're probably gonna look over everything just like I did. Let me tell you what I learned from that. There are things you need to look for when you're buying a 7.3. So my 7.3 started out just fine. It drove perfect for the first few months. It was stock, it was slow. The tires were out of balance because they were old because the truck had sat for several years before I had purchased it. But the first issue I really had with it is it would start randomly shutting off while I was driving around town, which is not very good when you're driving a nice heavy truck like that. So now I figured I would just speak from experience. So the first thing that really went wrong with the truck, something known as the cam position sensor. I got my truck in July of 2017. This truck was awesome. Ran really well for the first 2 or 3 months, and then I started having a very interesting issue. Now, I have replaced the sensor in my truck twice now. It is a very cheap sensor. It's about 30 to 40 bucks, and I highly recommend that you pick up two. One to replace the one that's already in the truck, and a spare one to have in your glove box for when that one goes bad. So I've talked about this sensor in a previous video and told you exactly what it does. If you guys haven't watched that video, go check it out. I'll put a card or whatever it's called up there. So when that sensor starts to fail, it starts making the truck shut off randomly. It'll fire right back up. But let me tell you what, it is pretty scary when you're driving around and your truck shuts off. You have no power steering, no power brakes, and if there's traffic around, it can be very nerve-wracking. Now, I'm not trying to scare you away from the 7.3. Like I said, if you're going to buy one and it doesn't randomly shut off on your way home, I highly recommend getting one of these sensors. Now with the cam position sensor out of the way, I think we should move on to the intercooler boot. So on these 7.3s, they're obviously intercooled, unlike the older generation. These trucks have these silicone boots, and if they're factory, I guarantee you, just from oil use, they're deteriorating. They've either got cracks already in them, or they're going to crack soon, or they're going to loosen up and start popping off like mine have started doing. I will crank down those clamps and it is never enough. If I get too much boost, they pop right off. It's a loud, scary noise. I had my dad in the truck with me one time when they went off, and it scared the out of me. I thought I blew the truck up. But basically these boots are super cheap. They're super easy to get to. If you pop the hood and look, there are two charge pipes coming off of where the turbo is, off the spider. There is one on the right, one on the left. You'll see two boots connecting to the intercooler on the front of the truck. They're bigger. They're probably, I think they're blue from the factory. Mine are blue on the truck. If they are factory, I recommend you upgrade. Riffraff Diesel has some amazing ones. I've got that down in the description below. They are good boots. I'm actually gonna throw some on my truck. I'm very excited to do so. So if you guys are planning on towing with your 7.3, this next one is going to be really important for you, and for the guys that like to run performance stuff like I do. The transmission cooler on these trucks is severely undersized. I mean, I think it's only 8 rows. I'll put a little picture here. It is a very small, undersized transmission cooler, and your transmission will heat up very quick. I would pull a small dump trailer around for work, and I would notice my transmission temperature climbing. That was a little scary, especially when it decided to overheat and boil over. You park the truck, you look underneath, it is dripping transmission fluid everywhere. It is a nightmare and very scary. But luckily there are lots of options. You got a Mishimoto option for the 7.3, but if you want to go cheap, and the easiest way to do it is to do a 6.0 transcooler. Now I'm looking into doing this myself. I haven't quite done it yet. Like I said, the truck's been on the back burner. Life has been crazy. My next big mod, I think, is going to be a new transcooler, because every time I drive the truck and it's hot outside, I sit at about 190 on the trans temp, and it makes me a little nervous because I'm really close. 200, 210, 220, you know how it goes. It overheats, you start bowling over, and your wallet starts to cry because there's a transmission on the way. But like I said, the 6.0 transcooler works for these 7.3s, and it does a really good job. Now, I'll put two pictures. Here's the 7.3, here's the 6.0. As you guys can see, the 7.3 is a little little small. So now this next one is very important if you guys plan on tuning or building your 7.3. So there are two different types of rods put into these trucks. There's either powdered metal rods or there is forged rods. Obviously, if you want big power on factory rods, you're going to want the forged. They can handle about 500 horsepower before you have any issues. Powdered metal rods are 400 max, and that is very scary because even with the simple tune, you're going to be pushing close to that. You'll get a nice big bay window on the side of your block. Now you might be asking, Austin, how do you tell between the powdered metal and the forged? Well, there's a huge argument everywhere you look, all over forums, on how to find out. Now there are people saying you can check the serial number based on the little tag on the driver's side valve cover. There are a lot of people that say you can go off of the build date. The most tried and true way to check the rods on your truck is a little viewing hole that is on the side of the block. There are plenty of forums about it. I will do a video on it soon because honestly, I haven't really checked. But my truck is a 2000 build date. I think it's in July. And like I said, you can't guarantee it because there's people out here that are saying that their 2000s have PMRs. And there's other people saying my 2000 has forged rods. It's a really hard thing to tell based off the serial numbers, build dates, whatever. Like I said, the only tried and true way is to use the viewing hole. Now, here's another issue that I personally have with my truck that I think if you guys are looking at a 7.3, you guys should really consider. When you pop the hood on the truck and you're checking out the boot and making sure everything's good under there, don't forget to check the valley of the engine. So what you want to do is you're going to get a flashlight, climb up there and shine it down the valley. If it's nice and shiny and oily, you probably have a bad high pressure oil pump on that truck. Now, mine has conveniently thrown two high pressure oil pumps that are factory high pressure oil pumps. I need to do an adrenaline. I know, it's just expensive. And when I say expensive, I took it to a shop because I had no experience with this stuff yet. I was still learning. It was $2,300. And now, obviously, it's really easy to clean that up. You throw some rags in there, it's gonna look nice and dry. So what you're gonna wanna do is have them fire up the truck, or you fire up the truck since you're looking at buying it, or you've already purchased it, and watch the valley. Sometimes it'll fill up like mine did. That's how I found out my high pressure oil pump was bad. There are two things that it can really be. There is the turbo pedestal O-rings that are buried underneath the pedestal and the turbo. There's the turbo, the pedestal, and then the block. There's two or three O-rings underneath there that I replaced, hoping that was the issue. Put it all back together, fired it up. There was no leak from the outside, but then I decided to hop up into the bay, look down in the valley, and it was filling up like a swimming pool. So if there's a pretty good sized leak underneath the truck, I pretty much guarantee it's the high pressure oil pump. I mean, these things are running at like 3,000 PSI. It's insane how much oil is being pushed through these trucks. It'll fill up that valley and hit the little drain hole at the back and make it look like you have a bad rear main seal. Now, this truck is obviously a turbo diesel, so there's going to be a nice big turbo on there. You guys are gonna wanna pop the intake boot off of the turbo. Make sure that the leading edge on that impeller is not damaged because it could have sucked in dirt if it was used for hauling or pulling on a farm, anything that could have gotten in there could have damaged that turbo. With the truck off, do not do it with the truck on. You will lose a finger. Check for play in the turbo wheel because it could jiggle around, which is obviously a sign that you guys need to get a new turbo. And if you guys are going to get a new turbo, I highly recommend doing it anyways. It's an amazing upgrade for these trucks. Go with the KC300X. I know everybody wants the Garrett, they want the ball bearing, but you can't rebuild the ball bearing. You can rebuild the journey bearing on the KC300X. It is an amazing turbo. It eliminates any of the turbo surge that you get. Like with mine, I put an air intake and a chip on there, and if I was going uphill, the turbo would go and it was super annoying and it made the truck lag. There was no power. The new turbo is absolutely worth it. Now, these are really, really good trucks. I hope this video didn't scare anybody away from the 7.3. These are the big things that you guys should consider when you're looking at buying one. Just know that these things are going to come up. Do not let it scare you because I don't regret buying that 7.3 at all. It has been an amazing truck. It's gotten me this far on YouTube. It's gotten me everywhere I've wanted to go. It has all been easy fixable that I've done myself with no experience whatsoever in the diesel world. And as always, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope I didn't scare anybody away from trying to buy a 7.3. They genuinely are really good trucks. If you guys want to help support the channel, head down to the description, buy some merch, buy some of the parts that I have on my truck. They're all listed down below. Use my link for a KC Turbo's turbo if you guys are gonna get one of those. That also helps directly support this channel. I honestly could not be here without you guys. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.